So this is gonna be the first video of the podcast. It's gonna be number 0 because technically we don't have a podcast up yet. So right now I have Tayez and Chris in the building. They're my 2 software engineers, and they're basically helping me set up what you're looking at right here, right now. So this podcast is going to center around topics that pertain to the Boyle Heights, East Los Angeles, Greater Los Angeles area community. It's going to center around topics that deal with politics. It's going to be about fights, as in like professional fights. I'm bringing interesting people here, hopefully. And so pretty much this podcast is going to give you like a bigger insight to what's happening in the area and outside of the area. Also, this podcast is going to just be about random fun shit that we do or talk about. It's not really that hard to do a podcast because basically all it is a conversation, right? So I wanted to start by talking about 2 topics that I feel a lot of people don't really have a lot of knowledge about, and that's gentrification and redlining. But I got a piece of advice from a friend of mine telling me that I shouldn't start with that because, well, a lot of people might find that boring to begin with. So maybe let's just talk about what this channel really is. So like I said, I have my 2 friends in here, Chris and Tayez. They're behind the camera right now looking at me talk. And for the most part, we're just going to have regular conversations to begin with, things that are interesting. I'm going to try to get some people that have different views than me, people that have similar views than me, just so people could get more or less good information, I'd say. Like, when I say good information, I mean information that's not biased, because a lot of information today tends to be biased. That's why you have a left wing and a right wing in government in the United States, because there's the people that are liberals and then there's the people that are conservatives, right? You always have 2 sides to an argument. But when people watch the news or they watch, YouTube videos, they usually have a political agenda that they're trying to get across. And what I mean is, like, let's say, for example, liberals want to stop global warming, right? So the media is going to put out that global warming is this big issue when it may or may not entirely be that big of an issue, because they're trying to receive funding from other groups to help their campaign and their agendas. The same with Republicans, right? They might say global warming is a myth because that's what the conservatives believe in. They believe that that global warming is a myth, right? So they'll put out on their own media their views on that and so forth. And I think that the best way to get real information is to have the 2 sides kind of debating each other, or just to simply have a conversation about a very controversial issue. I really wanted to start with gentrification because there's also 2 sides to it, and redlining also, there's 2 sides to it. The reason that I wanted to do this podcast was because I felt that popular media and other sources are very, like I said, biased, and they don't provide information that is entirely true sometimes. I feel that if you want to get a good understanding of the world around you, you have to be objective. And in order to do that, you need to bring to light the 2 sides so that they could battle each other, and then you decide for yourself what you want to believe in. But I also wanted to just start this podcast because I wanted to have fun with it, and talk about cool shit, pull up YouTube videos and do like I do here and watch fights when I want to. Kind of just, it was going to start as a hobby with me and my friends. We kind of just decided to do this one night. We were coming back from the gym and I said, what would be a good ass idea? A podcast. And one thing led to another, and then I was just buying all this equipment, and now it's finally all here. I'm just waiting on like one more microphone and some headsets, and we're pretty much gonna get rolling with this whole thing. I have already the stuff that I need for the podcast, like the interface and then my microphone and the headset and then the amplifier and all this other stuff that you guys probably don't know exists. But like I said, I just need those last pieces of equipment, one more camera, and we're going to be able to bring in more people. And my friends that are right now behind the camera are going to be able to actually chime in. Right now they can't unless they want to step in the frame. But yeah, we're not going to do that. So that's the end of this. Just episode 0, I guess. It's probably going to be the shortest one. And I'll see you guys later.